Welcome back to the channel. So the topic for discussion on today's video is how do we know who are the real friends? And it's a little bit different, and I might even challenge you to a practical test, I guess. And that is the energy test. What is the energy test? Well, the energy test is are you the one that's always reaching out firstly, in which case you are the one sending out the energy, you're the one instigating things. You probably are unawares as to whether are they just responding when they feel like it, are they just responding. The only way to really know where you're at and who your real friends are is go silent. Don't message them. See what happens. Because I'll tell you, it's a really interesting exercise and you'll find out who your real friends are. I promise you. I really promise you. How do I know? Well, because I pretty much do this a lot. And it's probably unconscious, but I've thought about it now while I'm making these videos, and I thought it would be a really interesting one to share with you, and I can use a few examples as to some of my discoveries along the way. But yeah, if you're the one that's always like, hey, let's do this, and hey, let's do that, or what are you doing, and people are responding, well, that doesn't necessarily mean that these people are your real friends. They might be bored as well and just responding out of boredom, or you might find when you send these messages they take hours to respond. That's okay. I mean, it's not, friendship shouldn't be a test of when someone replies. However, me personally, I've got my phone next to me. I think it's a pretty good indicator that the time it takes for someone to respond to you, i.e. if you know that they have a lot of time on their hands, well then, and they respond quickly, well then, yeah, that means they're happy to hear from you. But if someone works in an office job and, you know, it's a high pressure environment, well then, yeah, obviously you don't expect a reply straight away, so don't necessarily hold that against them. But what I have found is when I have gone quiet, some people just disappear, and I mean literally, you just don't hear from them, or you might get some sort of, you know, narky, smart-assy comment, whatever, you know, and you know, it's a great opportunity to reevaluate, in my opinion. I mean, do you really want to be that person that's always reaching out? Aren't you tired of it? Aren't you drained? What a beautiful day, by the way. Can you see the sun shining and the beautiful still waters? So, I digress once again. I'm sorry. I had an incident recently, actually, where somebody who had been sort of in my life in the capacity as I will say, an associate that I thought was a friend, always contacted me. I never really contacted them. I never really gave it much thought until I got to this point, and the point was that one day they asked if I wanted to attend a social gathering, and I couldn't do it, and they sort of like were almost aghast that I said no. And I'm like, well, mate, I've got something on. And this person too, by the way, like, would not drop a thing for you, ever. And the only time they'll message me all the time. And I sort of came to this conclusion probably before severing the tie, and that was that it was always just on their terms anyway, when they had nothing better to do. If I was to message them and say, hey, what are you doing? There's every chance they would say I'm busy. And to be honest, I think I probably did that once or twice in 5 or 10 years, and of the 15 years I knew them, and sure enough, they wouldn't have been responsive to any of my requests. So, but I would just do it, I guess, because I didn't have that much better to do myself, that much, you know, better options at the time when they'd message me as well. So, anyway, so the evening of the request denial had passed, and maybe a week went by, and I saw them at the place that we would meet up for a coffee, and I was with someone else on that particular day, and I just had this weird feeling, you know, like okay, that trouble in paradise, that sort of feeling. Anyway, so we said our hellos and whatever, and then I may have seen him 2 weeks later with some other people, and I thought, well, okay, you're going to the same place again, and there's a common denominator here, and that is I haven't heard from you. and it's not nothing to suggest that I would have contacted him. So yeah, there's no reason he'd have his nose out of joint other than I said no to his request. And it's been now, I don't know, 26 months or something, and I don't miss them. There's a few times here and there I thought, well, it's 6 months or a year or whatever, and all along I concluded, well, it was just one of those energetic friendships where he kept it alive by contacting me and I never contacted him. So in this instance, it made me realise that I never had any desire to reach out to him, and you know why, that's a whole nother issue, but to give an example as to why anyway, so I don't sound like an arrogant. He'd be the sort of person you'd catch up with, and it was great fun to catch up with, but would just talk about themselves, and if you started talking about something about you knew that they weren't present. So I took it for what it was. I knew what it was, and just that was it. It was a coffee catch up, and I had nothing better to do myself. But yeah, it's been over 2 years, and like I said, I feel better because now that I think about it, I spent many hours over many years catching up with this person who really wasn't my friend, and I guess that there was a void in my life that I allowed him to fill for whatever reason. But now I see this, I would much rather now, have a look, right? I'd rather be doing this now, going for a walk, sending a video, talking to you guys, than sitting somewhere now at a cafe with someone who has no interest in my life. I have very little interest in theirs, isn't going to listen to anything I have to say, and when I do say it, they don't give a rat's. Well, you know, it's very liberating, and I challenge you to try this. You know, go through your list of friends, associates, the people you contact. Just check your most recent 20 texts in your phone. You'll see it. You'll see the date when you sent a message or communicated, or they communicated with you. Go cold. Not cold. Actually, cold is the wrong word. Go silent. See what happens. If you don't hear from someone for 1 month, I can tell you right now, unless they're overseas or they've been in hospital or they're going through their own, you know, break up in a relationship or relationship problems, in which case if they were a friend, they'd reach out anyway and probably want to talk to you. But if you don't hear from them, and months start to become like this particular situation, guess what? You've lost absolutely nothing, I promise you. Don't regret it. Don't resent them. Just move on. I promise you. Try it. It's not easy. I know it's easier said than done, you know. Who in their right mind, you know, you might speak to someone every couple of days and you probably now just realise you're the one instigating it. I know it's hard. Like, who's going to just go from that to nothing? But try it. See if they reach out, because the people that really care, I promise you will reach out. And I promise you they'll be humble, and I promise you they're not going to, like, they'll be more concerned, like, are you okay, than where the hell have you been? If someone starts responding like that, what's up your ass, or something like that, well, guess what? Not mates. They're not a real friend. What a beautiful day, by the way. I'm continuing this walk. I'm walking along the foreshore in this beautiful place that I live in. I would like to now hand it over to you. I want to know what you think. I would like to know, have you been in a situation where you've actually done this and cut people off and realised they weren't friends? Are you at that point in life where you're ready to do something like that? I'm not by any means suggesting that if you contact your mum or your dad every day and that you just go silent on your parents. I don't mean anything like that. I think you know exactly what I'm referring to. I'm just talking about the everyday, you know, the work colleagues, the fringe dwellers, you know, or maybe those people that you hold in higher regard than they hold you. Stop and think about it. You know, again, it's better to be alone in ordinary company. Sorry. I mean, look at this. How good's this? And by the way, I do have friends, in case I sound like some miserable Grinch who doesn't. I do. I have plenty of friends, and I'm sort of always in the process of, you know, trying to better myself, really. And the reason I made this channel is because I wouldn't even talk about these things with most people. So I feel comfortable in a setting like this where I'm just able to air it out and hopefully find like-minded people find my tribe and share some stories, some videos, maybe get to do some live feeds down the track. So please support the channel, please like, subscribe, share. I assume they're the things that YouTube likes, and I really look forward to seeing you next time. But in the interim, I have to enjoy this beautiful sunshine. It's not as warm as it looks, by the way. It's probably about 21 degrees, but geez, it feels great. Have a great day.